everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today we are doing August's morning TNC. I've already drank all my tea, so I don't have a tea to share. I'm sorry. Um, I'm a little late doing this because we got hit with really bad storms last week, and we actually had the main power to our building severed by a great big huge tree branch. So we didn't have electricity for 3 days. And just, the level of exhaustion that took place trying to keep up on everything and make sure the water stayed out of the basement and getting the generator up and running and keeping it full of gas, and just the chaos that all came with it was exhausting. I'm still recovering from it. Um, so yeah, there was no doing morning TNC at this point until today. I was able to do it today. It's a nice quiet day. I didn't book myself anything, kept it really nice and on the quiet side. Other than I do have a few people coming in and going shopping, but that's not until later on. But yeah, so here I am with electricity finally. I'll tell you, you don't realize how much you miss things until they are gone. So last time I started showing crystals. This time, I think I'm going to do decks first, and then we'll look at the crystals. So the crystals that I'm going to share this time around are all just the spheres that I have kicking around. And this isn't all of them. Some of them are really high up on shelves, and I just don't feel like pulling out a ladder and getting up and getting them down and all of that crazy, right? So these are just kind of the ones that are around that are interesting, that are, we're easy to get to kind of deal. So I'll show those and go over those. There's some really super beautiful ones, but we'll start with, I started my August with bringing in the Rosebud Tarot. Um, I like it. I think it's really interesting. I hear the indie edition is beautiful. This is mass market. Actually, all the decks I'm going to be showing you this month are mass market. I didn't really do any indie decks this month. Not any reason other than I just didn't, like, nothing really was speaking to me. But I did do a little bit of purchasing with the mass market stuff. A lot of them were on sale, and I just decided, why not, right? There are different ones that I wanted to work with. This deck is very interesting to me because it's very it works with the archetypes, which I think is really interesting. And the way she has the book kind of laid out is really quite interesting and different as well too. So I don't know. I At first I was a little um thrown off by it, I guess you would say. And I was kind of like, I don't know, like, what's going on here. But then I started getting into it and spending time with it, and it started making sense to me. And I love it. It's a great deck. The thing that makes me laugh about this deck, and the thing that I really enjoy about it, is I feel like I'm looking at ghosts. If I don't know if anybody feels the same way, but I feel like I'm looking at, like, ghosts. And it's like ghosts hanging out in different settings and scenes doing different things. And this is the only card where it's kind of reversed, right? But, well, yeah, I think it's one of the only ones. Um, but I feel like I'm looking at, like, ghosts or memories, I guess. It's really quite interesting. I see them as ghosts. And I don't know, I really like it. I thought it was really cool. It gave really good readings. A little bit of a different approach to readings, which I appreciate and I think is really neat and interesting. But yeah, I like its size. Its size is awesome. Cardstock, good. I have no qualms with that. The size was actually, I really like it. How it's a little wider. I really like it. Easy to shuffle, easy to handle. Just beautiful artwork, eh? I would have loved to have seen the indie edition. And I did have the opportunity to get the indie edition when it came out, but I wasn't really I wasn't into purchasing at that moment in time. I go through like waves where I don't purchase anything for a really long time and then I purchase a bunch of stuff and then I go back to not purchasing for a long time and kind of purge and go through what I have and give away the decks that don't resonate with me and I kind of like, work down through my collection and kind of fine tooth comb it and and I don't buy anything like I said for a while and then all of a sudden I buy a bunch of stuff again and then it's kind of that cycle that happens. So when this was out in indie, that was when I was in my not buying anything cycle, which I'm trying to go back into that cycle right now, but it's kind of not working, as you can see. But I have definitely slowed my purchasing down. I just want to make a point that my windows are open. So if you hear like dogs barking or trucks going by or stuff like that, it's just my windows are open because it's such a beautiful day. All right, so I grabbed the Citadel. All right, so Liminal like 11's boxes are awesome, right? Like it's super cool. Like their whole setup and like this magnet is crazy. So crazy strong. Um this is I believe my second Liminal 11 deck. The other one was the White Newman. I like their ideas. Like I like their concepts. I like their art. I like the boxes. I like the books. I like everything about it. And it just might be me, and this is totally 100% my opinion, but for some reason, I have a hard time connecting with their decks. It's an energy thing. The decks are beautiful. They're very, very well done. But for some reason, there's an energy of these decks that don't necessarily work with me. And I don't know why. And I haven't figured it out yet. So when I do, I'll let you know. Really like this deck. I think it's really neat. I used it a little bit and then I put it off to the side because I kind of find, and I'm going to say it and now we're not going to see any of them, but there's so many hands. Like every card has hands. And I kind of find it obnoxious. I don't know why. I can't tell you why. But there's something about all these hands like reaching and like grabbing for things and doing stuff that I'm just like, I don't know. It's annoying. And I don't know why. It bothers me. And I feel like this is like, and I think it is. I think this is part of a game and it feels like it's part of a game. And that's what kind of I think is throwing me off. But like look how cool this is. Like that's a really cool card, right? But I don't know. But even that's a cool card too with a hand. But I'm okay with it. But for some reason, I don't know, there's something about it. And like I said, I feel and like that's a really super cool card too. But I feel like it's part of a game that I don't like that I'm not part of. That I don't know what's going on. And I don't know, maybe it's just not time for me in this deck to hang out yet, and that's fine. I put it up on my shelf, and when I'm called to it, I'll be called to it. And if I'm not ever, I'll eventually move it on. But I don't know, there's something about it. I like the cards, sizes and shape. Like this is actually really nice to shuffle. I enjoy it. Like it's okay. Let's see what card it is. The brawler, lack of empathy and confrontation. Yes, I am. I am confronting you and I do have lack of empathy and I'm sorry. See, like I don't know, like it's a cool deck, but just all the hands bug me and I don't even know why. I didn't even know hands bugged me, but apparently they do. But there's like some really cool cards in here, so I don't know. I feel like I haven't given it a fair chance yet, and I need to like sit down with it and actually spend some time with it. And I think that's all it is, right? Okay, so going from one deck that I did not and have not connected with yet to the complete opposite side of the spectrum to a deck where I immediately connected with. And the funny thing was, is I was a little like suspicious of it first, right? And I was kind of like, I don't know. I don't know about this. I hear everybody talking about it. I'm really like late arriving to the party on this one, but man, this deck is crazy. I I love it. I love it so much. I like how it has like a water stain. Look at the bottom. Isn't that cool? Um, I love it. This thing does not hold back. It is a straight shooter. It'll tell you how it is. It's even got like a little bit of a spooky vibe to it. I don't know, there's like a spooky energy to it if you ask me. And I just whenever I read with this, I'm just blown away by it. And I'm like this is crazy. It's intense, but in a good way, right? Like I don't know. This deck does not play games. It It's amazing, and I can't wait. Like, I'm studying it right now, spending time with it, working with it. I can't wait to, like, actually, like, not even be able to like, not even use the book and just to be able to lay them and read them. Like, I can't wait for that because it's just amazing. The backs make me laugh because they're like a butterfly, right, or a moth, right? That lunar moth, and it kinda doesn't suit the cards. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, they're so, like, in your face, crazy, and then the backs are like I don't know, it's just it makes me laugh. I feel like it doesn't suit it, but they're beautiful, and I like it, and I like this, and I like this, but I think that they're, like, strange together in a way. But like I said, that's just my opinion. But this deck is freaking awesome. I love it. I'm really thoroughly enjoying my time with this deck, and I'm like, it has not gone away. I don't see it going away. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to be working with this all of September, October, like November until I get tired of it, right? Like, and I don't even know if I will get tired of it. It might just be one that stays out on my desk permanently, right? Or by my bedside. So we'll see. Now, the one that I brought in right after that is the Seasons of the Witch, the Mabon. This is all over the place right now. There's tons of people showing it and doing walkthroughs and pairing it and doing different things like that. Um, I just recently did a video called, Conjuring of the Witches or whatever. I think that's what I called it, Conjuring of the Witches. And it's about using the Seasons of the Witch oracles with the conjure cards, and I absolutely love it. It is like hands down one of my most favorite combinations. There's just something about it that really works for me. Um, Super cute. It's got like that cozy comfort factor. Some of the cards have a little bit of spookiness to them and mystery, the unknown. Um, in the video that I did about the conjure cards in these, like I said, I'm a big fan of, Tiana's work and art style. I really like the other artists too that did Seasons of the Witch, the Samhain and the Beltane. I really like her style of art as well too. So I'm liking the artists of both of or all of the Seasons of the Witches, I guess you should say. Um, and they both bring something different to the table, right? They both have a different energy to them. They both have a different feel. And this is like I find it so like cozy. And the minute I pull it out and I start looking at it, I feel like I go straight into like September, October, and it just brings me right into that fall energy. And I love it. I adore it. As of tomorrow, September 1st, this is coming out and I'm working with it because I have been counting down the days to work with this deck. I can't freaking wait. So it is like I'm excited. I can't wait. I'm just like, let's go. Let's do it. I want to work with it really bad. I'm ready. And then last but not least, I brought in this little one and I just did a video on this one, right? So I know there's like, some people have been saying it has repeating cards and all this different stuff. So the fronts do have repeating words because it's what the spell has to do with. So it's a protection spell, it's a manifestation spell, it's a banishing spell, it's a divination spell, it's a spell for luck. And so that's why it has the repeating words, right? Connection, divination, banish, manifestation, protection. So like connection, resourcefulness, like these are repeating because they're what the spell is. And then when you turn it over and you look at it, every single one is just a cute little simple spell that you can do to just kind of, connect into, that energy. Um, Gives you a little spell to do, I don't know. I really like it. I think it's really cool. Um, if I run into a situation or a problem and I'm just like, I don't know what to do about this, like, is there a little spell that I can do, something I can do to kind of manifest a better situation? Or, what can I do in this situation? I will give this little shuffle and it'll give me something. And if I do what it says on the card, I've been finding that it makes me feel 100% better. And it's like I'm doing something, right? It's like I'm trying to stop it, or I'm trying to correct it, or it's the act of doing something, that makes you feel better, right? So like let's say I'm, with this whole situation um with the storm that just happened and the damage that occurred to my building, right? Like, what can I do about that? How can I make that better? How can I make me feel better about that? How can I, you know, um, like, how can I correct the situation, or what can I do that'll make the situation feel better, right? And I just kind of don't look at the cards. Remember, like I said, I just kind of look away and I'm concentrating on what my question is and what I'm thinking about. And, I'll wait for a card to fall out. And if a card doesn't fall out, I'll just wait until I feel, okay, there we go. I'm going to take this one because it kind of did a weird thing. Okay. So this is its solution to, my situation that I just asked about. So it's connecting with friends through gardening. Name your house plants after your loved ones. Give them extra care. If a plant seems to be doing poorly with no explanation, check in on its namesake. A friend may need you. So very interesting, right? So to me, what I would take from that is to spend a little bit of time doing indoor gardening, work on my plants, trim them up, water them, do, maintenance to my indoor plants, name them, right? Name them after my family members or my loved ones. And that is a wonderful distraction. That is a wonderful way to ground. That is a wonderful way to spend time with nature and to just kind of distract yourself, right? So, like, that would make me feel better. That would kind of distract me from the stuff that's happening. And I 100% agree with that. So for me then to turn around and that's its little solution and do it, it makes me feel better. So no, this is a great little deck. I love it. And at the end of the day, I paid $13 and some change for it, right? So I mean, after taxes and everything, because I live in Canada, I think it was just over $14. So I mean, for $14, like it's pretty fabulous for 14 bucks. I'll tell you that right now. I've really been enjoying my time with it, like a lot. I've really enjoyed this purchase. So those are kind of like the decks that I've had and I've brought in. There has been a few more here and there, but nothing crazy, right? Nothing like those have been the majority of what I brought in for the a month of August. Like I said, I've been working a lot with these conjure cards, a lot. I've been using this a lot too. I've been really enjoying my everyday spells. Uh, I brought the Rosebud Tarot in at the beginning of the month. I worked with it for quite a few weeks, and I just recently, I mean like just a couple days ago, put it away and off to like up onto its shelf into its spot, just because I wanted to work with some different ones, and it was kind of like I kept going to it, which isn't a bad thing. That's a wonderful thing, right? But I wanted to start working with other decks. So I kind of had to put this one away because of that reason and that purpose. So it kind of went back up on its shelf. Plus, I feel it's a very spring, vibrant summer energy, right? Because of all the flowers and the bright, pretty colors and stuff like that. And I'm starting to kind of make my way into my darker decks, like the most of us right now, right? We're all going for our darker color palettes and our more spookier feeling decks and, welcoming in that, that Samhain energy, right? So decks like that, it's time for them to kind of go away, right? And that's what we're all doing right now. The Citadel, I don't know. Like I said, I had a hard time kind of connecting with it. Um, but like I said, it's maybe just I haven't given it a fair chance, right? I haven't. There's been other decks like this that have, dominated the landscape in my readings. So, you know, that's probably as simple as what it is, right? And I can't wait to get into this one. Tomorrow, I'm diving into this one and we're going to spend some time on this and work with these ones together. I'm really excited with all of these three right here. Awesome. I can't wait to work with them. So really excited with the change of the season. And today it's like 50, like 51 or 50, 52 or something like that. So like that fall weather all of a sudden just landed today. It's going to heat back up in a couple days and we're going to go back up into the high 70s. But today it's like sweatshirts and cozy and comfy and overcast and 100% has that fall feeling that's coming in, right? So it's awesome. All right, so let's take a look at the spheres that I have. They're sitting in a box right here, and you can probably hear them like jiggling around as I move my arms and stuff. They're loose in there. I didn't want to bring their stands out and all that stuff because some of them have really quite complicated stands, like carvings of women and different things like that. And I just left those and I just brought out the spheres. So I'm gonna reach into the box, and whichever one I grab is the one we're going to look at first. Ooh, interesting. So this is my black moonstone sphere. I wanted a bigger one. It's gorgeous. It's I believe this one is either 70 or 80 mm's. I can't remember exactly, but it is a decent size. It's got some beautiful sheen in it. Absolutely gorgeous sheen. It's a little like when you hold it, you can tell that it's not a perfect circle, but I'm okay with that. That's fine. But it's beautiful. I use this to connect with like dark goddess energy, and I find it very feminine. I love it. I love the webbing in it. I think it's just amazing. So I'm a big fan of Black Moonstone. So when I saw this one, I grabbed it. But like I said, I wanted one a little bit bigger, but it's fine. This one's quite beautiful and it found its way to me. So I guess it was meant to be mine. And there's like, look at this beautiful rainbow. I don't even know if you'll see it. Let's see if I can get it to do it. Oh, it's not showing on this camera. That right there is a gorgeous piece of rainbow. It almost looks like a piece of pearl. Like it's so pretty. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous piece. All right, now let me see what the next one is here. Ah, so this is my old batch rainbow fluorite. And this camera is not doing it justice by no means. This is a very, very beautiful light, almost like a seafoam green. And it's got beautiful, beautiful rainbows all in it. You can see like that's a rainbow right there. It's just not picking up. Um, there's all these different like triangles and like gridding in it. This is part of like the matrix that's still in it, which is quite interesting. We've got some beautiful, beautiful, beautiful druzy happening right there. So yeah, and this is old batch, meaning it comes from an old source. This is an old sourced fluorite. This one has been around a long time. I've had it for a long, long time. This is actually, I believe, is one of my first spheres that I ever bought. So it's an old one. I've had it a long, long time, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I love this window with the druzy. It is so pretty. Let's see what's next. Oh, all right, here we go. Look at this one. So this is my lapis lazuli. This one's not quite perfectly shaped either, but that's okay. It's still absolutely beautiful. Has tons and tons of pyrite in it. So all of this color here that you're seeing, it's all like a goldy color. It's just not picking up in the camera. And that is all pyrite. And it's so beautiful. So this sits on my shelf where I have like all of like my Egyptian stuff. So like my Egyptian based decks and Egyptian based like statues or things of that manner that have that Egyptian energy and feel to it, right? And its stand is actually three cats, so like Basque, and the ears hold the sphere up of the three cats. So it's really quite Egyptian, and like obviously there's hieroglyphs and like all the different stuff that's happening on that. Um, and it's really quite beautiful. And I think besides the egg that I already showed in one of my previous videos, those are my only lapis lazuli pieces. Is just this one and the other one. This is a decent size. This one's, I'm going to say 80 to 90 mm's. It's a big one, right? It's nice though. I like it. I like its energy. It feels really good. I enjoy it a lot. That one's really cool. I'm going to put some of these out as decoration so we can look at them and enjoy them. Since my table's so bland, I like to have them open sometimes. I like to have like less decorations just so, sometimes it gets crowded and you hit things around and things get in the way, right? So it's nice. All right, here is my old stock ocean jasper. So this is really old, just like that rainbow fluorite I showed you. I've had this for a long time. And this is a beautiful piece of OJ. And the thing that I love about this piece is it reminds me of like the world, like Earth, like looking at Earth or like a planet of some sorts, right? It's not really blue enough to be Earth, but I don't know, for some reason it just gives me planet vibe. And I love it. And it's kind of not picking up, but it's got like your rosy colors in it. It's got your greens. It's got a little bit of like a yellow tone here. Obviously, your golden browns. But it's quite a beautiful piece. Once again, really nice energy. And like I said, it's from an old batch. It's an old batch one. All right, let's see what else is next here. So this is my grounding. When I meditate, I use this and I work with it. This is my red jasper. It's got a little teeny bit of druzy happening in here, and it's just it's just an interesting stone. I'm a huge fan of red jasper. I absolutely adore red jasper to ground with and to work with in that manner. I find it very, very grounding and just like pulls me and anchors me into the earth, which is wonderful. But it's really cool because there's all like a little bit of sparkle in this line that goes all the way around in this veining. So it's really quite interesting. It's a beautiful piece. And I have like a big solid like raw chunk that I use in Indigo Moon during any type of crystal Reiki sessions that I do. But this is my personal piece that I work with, and it's just perfect to sit in your hands and just meditate and hold on to. It's like perfect palm size, so it's wonderful. I really enjoy it. And then last but not least is one of my favorites. And of course, it's not going to show up good because it's white. This is my scolecite sphere. If you do not know what scolecite is an extremely high vibrational crystal. It's not so easy to come by. It damages very easy, so it's hard to ship. Like I can't even. Obviously it's got some sheen to it. this is where the base of it is, and it goes up to, this is where the points would be. So it's been carved out of the base. It's got beautiful sheen. It's not picking up. I'm sorry. It's really hard. Maybe if I hold it back more. See the sheen? It's just gorgeous. I'm a huge fan of scolecite. I have quite a few scolecite pieces. This sphere, I have a pendulum, two pendulums, sorry, two pendulums. I have an actual beautiful like raw piece, a couple raw pieces of scolecite that made it to me, not too badly damaged. You will tend to find scolecite with crystals, like their companion crystals tend to be like stilbite. Sometimes you'll find a little bit of calcite or a little bit of apotholite sometimes with it. Very high vibration, beautiful crystal. And this one, this is stilbite right here, these pieces. This is some stilbite that was in there. But it usually grows in fans. You can see, I'm trying to bring it down a little bit, so see if we can pick it up. This spot right here is a fan where another piece was fanning off of it, and it's really hard to see. But yeah, this is just quite a beautiful sphere. I'm sorry it's not showing good enough for you guys to see it and really enjoy it, but she's a beauty. And then last but not least, I'll bring out the biggest one that I own. All right, I'm going to go grab it. And I might have already shown this. I'm not sure if I have or haven't. But this is my great big huge massive honey calcite. I'm going to put it down because it's so heavy. It is full of so much shimmers and rainbows, and it's got this like dividing line in it that it's complete. You can't feel it. It's part of the crystal. Like there's no seam or anything like that. There's no raised edge, but it's like a band. See the banding? I get lost in this. I can stare into this forever. There's rainbows in there. There's a lot happening in this one. It's so pretty though. It's one of my most favorite spheres. Look at that. It's beautiful. I don't know if anyone out there's a fan of honey calcite, but honey calcite is just gorgeous. This one I believe is 120 mm's, if I remember correctly. So it's pretty big. It's a floor breaker. Like if you dropped it, this would do some damage. It would break a foot for sure. And I'm just going to put it right here off to the side. I didn't bring any books in. I tend to bring in more books during the winter months. And I find books to be a very personal thing. So I don't necessarily share a lot of my books, and I kind of keep them to myself. Just because, like I said, I find books to be kind of a personal thing. So I don't do a whole lot of sharing of books. If one really blows me away or is really quite interesting, I might mention it. But usually, like I said, I find books to be a very private thing. So I don't tend to talk about books too much or too often. There is one more deck that I forgot that I have brought in that I'm going to show really fast. And that is if I can just reach it, the Egyptian Gods Oracle. Now, I've been looking at this deck forever. Long time. And I just kind of kept passing it off and passing it off and passing it off. First of all, it is done by Los Scarbeo, which surprised the heck out of me, right? I thought that they just did tarot. I didn't realize that they did oracles as well too. So it really surprised me when I got this, and I was like, "Oh, it's a Los Scarbeo. Like, how interesting is that?" I wasn't expecting it at all. Anyone who watches my channel or follows me on Instagram knows that I am huge into Egyptian stuff. Always have been ancient Egyptian stuff. I don't know why it calls to me the same way us, a person says, they're a star seed, or they're drawn to Atlantis or they're Lemurian or they're drawn to these different ancient civilizations and cultures. For me, it is Egypt, 100%. And I have no idea why I waited this long to get this. I've been looking at this for years now. And I put it into my basket a million times, a million times. And then I've taken it out. And finally, I was watching someone who did a reading and they ended up grabbing from this deck during their reading and just, used it as a little bit. They were mixing tarot. I don't know, maybe they were mixing two oracles in together. I think they were doing an oracle reading and they had a mixture of a bunch of oracles happening, and this was one of them. And when she pulled out the card that was part of her reading, I just I couldn't resist it. And I was like, why have I not bought that deck? I've looked at it a million times. I've put it in my cart a million times. Like, this is it. I'm doing it. And I immediately went and bought it because I wasn't waiting anymore. And I wasn't waiting for me to get, interested in another deck and put this one off again. And, I immediately went and bought it. And I was like, that's it. It's coming into my life. And it has been sitting on my nightstand all month. I love it. It connects to me very, very deep. It's wonderful. It's not huge, right? I believe it's 36 Oracle. So that is probably why I kept putting it off, because I usually will not buy an Oracle unless it has at least like 42, 46 cards and up. Just because I feel like it's just not worth my money. And that is probably why I passed it up as many times as I did. But I'm so glad I got it. This is, I mean, it's definitely something that'll speak to, certain individuals only, but I love it. It is fantastic. And I'm, not happy that I waited as long as I did, but it is what it is, right? It's here now, and that's what counts. And I really, honestly, I'm thoroughly enjoying my time with it. It's beautiful. Most Egyptian-based decks I don't like because there's something that's been drawn wrong, or they're weird, or they look too like biblical to me, if that makes sense to you. Um, I don't know. Some of them I really have not enjoyed. I don't like their artwork. I just don't like the energy of it. But this one, I'm okay with. I connected good and deep with it, and I'm really enjoying my time with it. It's a wonderful deck. All right, so there you have it. That's kind of what I've been doing with my August and the different cards and decks and different things that I've been working with and, enjoying my time with. Some of them I've really connected with, some of them I have not. But like I said, I feel like it's just not its time yet. Its time will come. But yeah, so the next time I do a video, one of these, it's going to be for September, and you'll get to see all the decks that I've been working with or bringing in for September. I did do a Hay House haul, not a huge one, but I did get a couple decks from Hay House when they had their semi-annual sale that they do. It might even still be running. I'm not sure, but I did do a Hay House haul. I'm not a huge, like, I like Hay House, but I'm not a huge fan of the Hay House. But the decks that I picked, I've really liked. I think they're really cool. I haven't gotten the opportunity to work with many of them yet, so I'll be doing a Hay House haul video and showing like the different things that I've brought in from Hay House. And yeah, so hopefully everybody's enjoyed the video. If you did, subscribe, like, all that awesome stuff. And like I always say, I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching and thanks for joining in.